Like if you found the video valuable. Detective Lena Morales had seen her share of strange cases, but the vanishing room was different. At the old Carmichael estate, guests reported entering a room only to emerge minutes later in an entirely different part of the mansion, or sometimes not at all. Every complaint ended the same way, an unsettling silence and a missing person report. When Lena arrived, she was met by the caretaker, an elderly man named Harris, who seemed both nervous and resigned. "You won't find it if you're looking," he warned. "The room chooses who enters and who leaves." Lena frowned but proceeded upstairs. The corridors were narrow, dimly lit, and smelled faintly of mothballs. She checked every door on the east wing, noting their numbers and labels. Room 7, she thought, seemed ordinary enough. She opened the door and stepped inside, and the room changed immediately. Walls that had been lined with books now stretched into darkness. The floor shifted beneath her boots, and the air felt thick, almost liquid. She reached for her flashlight, but the beam barely penetrated the gloom. A whisper echoed, "Leave before it notices." Her pulse quickened. "Who's there?" she called, but the room only responded with silence. Minutes, or hours, passed. Lena wasn't sure. The room twisted her sense of time. Then she saw movement. Shadows slithering across walls that shouldn't exist. Something was watching her. She pulled out her phone and tried to call Harris. No signal. Not surprising, she thought, given the mansion's isolation. But the battery drained unnaturally fast, as if the room itself was consuming power. Suddenly, she felt a hand on her shoulder. She spun around, nothing. Then the walls rippled, like water disturbed by a pebble, and she saw them, the missing guests. Their faces pale, eyes wide with terror, staring silently from the shifting walls. "Help us," they mouthed, but no sound came. Lena's stomach turned. This wasn't just a haunted house. It was a trap. She turned to leave, but the door had vanished. Panic surged. Every attempt to retrace her steps led her deeper into the maze of warped hallways. Then she noticed a pattern. The shadows moved in sequences, almost like they were pointing her somewhere. Lena followed, heart hammering. The shadows led her to a wall of mirrors, each reflecting a version of the room she had just left, but with horrifying differences. In some, she saw herself motionless, frozen in terror. In others, she saw herself screaming, but no sound escaped. One mirror rippled, and she saw Harris inside, mouthing words she couldn't hear. She touched the glass, and it felt like walking through water. The moment she crossed, she collapsed to the floor of a familiar hallway, the east wing she had entered hours ago. The door to room 7 now stood in front of her, perfectly ordinary. Harris appeared behind her, shaking his head. "You made it," he said quietly. "Few do. Where are the others?" Lena asked. "Gone. Or trapped," he replied, gesturing vaguely at the mansion. "Some doors aren't meant to be opened twice." Lena's stomach churned as she realized the truth. The vanishing room wasn't a room at all. It was a living entity, preying on curiosity, feeding on fear, and reshaping itself every time someone entered. As she walked away, Lena couldn't shake the feeling that the shadows had followed her. And somewhere, deep inside the mansion, the vanishing room waited for the next visitor.